there, folks, and welcome back to another episode of Friday Night Spotlight, brought to you by 911 Air Repair, your local air conditioning expert specializing in maintenance, repair, and new installations. Again, we're nearing the end of our regular season. Our smaller schools have about 3 weeks left. They are currently in week 7. Again, we have a bunch of teams on a bye, so our schedule is pretty slim. But our game of the week is pretty exciting this time around. We are talking about Maricopa, and they're going to be hosting Tucson. Maricopa is coming off a big win last week. They defeated Nogales 41-0, and Tucson is currently on a 5-game skid. But this game can kind of go either way. David, what are you expecting in this game?
Well, yeah, first of all, last week you talked about Maricopa's chances of still coming out with a pretty good season, and like you said, this is still on tape for them. They've done a really solid job thus far. I think they've surprised a lot of people, and they've definitely surprised us with their ability, and I think that's just the showing of the talent that they have and the personnel. So, for them, it all starts at the quarterback position with Jose Cardona Jr. Jose has been an absolutely incredible piece for them at quarterback. He's thrown for over 1,000 yards. He's got 14 touchdowns, and that's kind of the key thing for me here is that this is a team that's not afraid to pass the ball. They really spread it around with their receiving core. Multiple guys with over 100 yards receiving and multiple touchdowns, so they really don't rely on one key wide receiver, which is a great asset to have because opposing defenses don't know who's going to be the guy that's going to be catching all the passes. So they've done a really good job of that. Also, Jose's a really solid runner. He's rushed for 164 yards and 3 touchdowns. So he is going to be the key piece going forward in this game against Tucson. I think if he comes out with a really strong performance, he's just going to carry this team to a lead. The defense is going to have to keep picking it up like they have in the last couple of weeks. I think this is a solid win. I think that they can pull it out here and continue to on their good streak and have a solid year and keep progressing. They're building talent not just for this year but for the future, and it's really exciting to see. I like Maricopa in this matchup.
All right, now looking at Tucson, like I mentioned so far, they have a 5-game skid going on. Kind of their do-it-all guy is Joseph Romero. He's played quarterback a little bit. He's their second leading rusher, and he's also their second leading receiver. So wherever he is on the field, you kind of got to be on the lookout for him. Defensively, Kevin Bruns has 3 interceptions. The team only has 7 total, but they have 18 passes defended. Now, this is going to be key for Tucson because, like David mentioned, Jose Cardona Jr. is the focal point of Maricopa's offense, but he is also a sophomore. So, growing pains are still something that this Maricopa team has to deal with. He does have the tendency to kind of throw interceptions and everything, but like David mentioned, talking about Maricopa, this is a good building block for them. Still, I'd like to see a little more balance between their passing and their run game, but in order to accomplish that, you kind of got to focus on one end and really get good at that before you start developing something else. So right now their focal point is their passing game, and they're developing that, and that's really good for them. Transitioning over to our additional games to watch. David, what else do you have your eye on?
I am looking at kind of a quiet team that we haven't talked about as much, but I think we should. It's A.L.A. Ironwood. Right now where the rankings stand, they're just outside the cusp of that playoff ability right there, and I think they're looking really solid so far, and I think this could be another game against Tempe where they can continue to prove themselves. But the big thing for this is that Tempe is not the same, Tempe team that we've seen in the last few years. They're actually a pretty solid group this year. They are going to pose a threat to the Warriors, and they're going to have to be able to be on tap here. The leading rusher for this team, and honestly the best focal point on offense for them, is Aiden Williams. The running back has 854 yards right now and 8 touchdowns. He's the guy that makes this offense go, and he's the guy that kind of really sets the tone for the offense as well. They have really good pieces around him as well. Defensively, Marcus Dorsey has had 3 interceptions so far this year. They have really talented defensive backs, but also guys that are able to go out and attack the quarterback, and I really like that kind of that yin-yang right there on the defensive side, and I think the defense is kind of the unsung hero of this team so far. Lauren Dawson has come in here, and he's really done a solid job with this group, and I like him so far. I'm going to take a win, or give them a win in this one, and hope they continue it, and maybe even sneak into the playoffs would be something huge for the Warriors.
All right, now my game to watch, we're going to keep this in 3A, and it is number 5, Florence. They are going to be at number 12, Benjamin Franklin. Now, both of these teams are coming off of their bye week, and that can go anyway Teams can come out, with some rest and recovery. It can do them good, but then it can also be kind of bad for them. They have that week off. They might be losing the momentum that they had gaining, just trying to continue the season. So we'll have to see how this one turns out. I'm going to keep it simple. Looking at Ben Franklin, we all know they love to run the ball. The guy that runs the offense is Ridge Allen, 923 rushing yards, 112 carries, 14 touchdowns. The second guy, Jet Lambert, only 29 carries. So everything is going to go through Allen. And the thing about Benjamin Franklin is because they run the ball so well and so often is that they eat up a lot of clock. So for Florence here, the thing is whenever they do get the ball, they got to be clean and they got to capitalize on those opportunities because they're going to be working against the clock. I think Florence can do it even though they have been without their star running back in Josh Jackson since September 1st. He's only played 3 games for the Gophers, but Florence has done a good job of adapting and using all these other running backs like Malik Smith, Joseph Carroll, Kane Neal, and even quarterback Logan Stenson. So I still think Florence has a good position here going up, wrapping up their season here and securing a really good playoff spot and hosting, during the first round of the 3A conference. Real quickly, here are our picks for this week. And just, David, anything else you would like to add overall?
Yeah, let's look back at the picks and see who's winning right now. I think I'm doing a pretty good job, right?
You're up by 2, but hey.
Hey, it's a lead and we'll take it. We like it.
All right, and with that, as always, be sure to tune into Pinal Central for all of your local sports coverage.